Mark your calendar for Saturday, February 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest. It's a community event. It's a family event, including your pets. We will have free health screenings, free immunizations, and free vaccines for pets. We will also have fun fitness activities for everyone, like dancing, biking, Zumba, and much more. We are also still looking for COF volunteers, so please contact Sister Tanya Dixon to join the team.
And now we get an opportunity to hear from Dr. Jacqueline Carruthers, a trusted and respected physician that has served the Acres Home community for years, is joining us to provide insight as well. Dr. Jacqueline Carruthers, put some respect on your name. How are you doing today?
I am doing great, Carlos. How are you doing?
I am great as well. It is an absolute pleasure that you are here joining us today on our very first podcast.
My pleasure.
Hopefully you'll be back. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to explore some topics that are very important to the community, and that is healthcare.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So before we get involved, before we begin, I would love to be able to allow you to introduce yourself to the audience so they can get a better understanding of who you are, what you've been doing for the Acres Home community, and why is it important for us to actually get more involved with community health.
Okay. My name is Dr. Jacqueline Carruthers. I have been in practice probably 25 years now. I started off on airline with a group of Latino doctors. I learned to speak Spanish along the way. I worked at Herman Hospital on LN 610 for a number of years. I worked in the intensive care unit and in the emergency room, taking care of my Acres Home patients. In 2007, I decided to build my own office. So I built an office on Shepherd, right up next to Luby's. Stayed there 12 years, did really well, took care of the community very well. And then I got older, Carlos, so I needed to slow it down a little bit. So what I've done now is I'm an employed physician. I work for United Healthcare, a company called WellMed. I'm a medical director there. So I've been here for about 5 years. We still take care of Acres Home. We take care of the seniors the same way we used to. But I just have healthcare now myself. I've got retirement myself, and those type of things you don't have when you're in your own business. So I'm sitting in a better spot now.
Oh, I can relate. I definitely can appreciate that. In regards to your experiences dealing with the issues in regards to African Americans being able to access healthcare, what are some of the things that you're seeing?
You know what? It's a big problem. I would say transportation is probably number one.
Sure.
And seniors having a reliable, supporting family network, a family network that cares enough to kind of get the senior to the doctor, to get the tests done, to get their medications from the pharmacy. Those two are probably the biggest barriers that I see on a regular basis. The economics also play a role because you have copays. Copay may be $5 to see the doctor, but that really dips into the senior's budget. The medications usually have a copay. There's a copay on x-rays and blood work and the different things that you order. So economics also a very, very big problem. You know what else? Dementia and mental illness. And mental illness.
Yes.
Big, big issue in our communities. A lot more than I actually anticipated when I got out of medical school. So I really act like a psychiatrist a lot to make sure the seniors are taking medication. We've got bipolar disorder. We've got schizophrenia. We've got major depression. We've got several mental illnesses that are just pervasive in the community. So getting the patient to kind of understand that they have got to form a relationship with a doctor, come on a regular basis, take their medications, follow instructions in terms of seeing other doctors when necessary, or just coming back to see me to check that blood pressure or blood sugar. All those are real important things.
Good. Very, very, very insightful answer. I definitely appreciate that. I'm pretty sure our audience will appreciate that as well. But I'd like to take it a step further because we already understand about the statistics. The obesity rates is 45% of ACRES homes is obese. And that rate is higher than the state and the national average. You look at diabetes, 18% of ACRES homes have diabetes. You look at the cancer factors, you look at the tobacco use, it goes on and on. So our community is in pretty bad shape. And so what we want to do is hear from you in regards to because we believe the church is the solution. Okay. Oh, yeah. How can we as the church partner with physicians like yourself to ensure we are addressing those particular needs? Because the church has always been the backbone of the community. We have so many different churches doing so many different things, but at the end of the day, healthcare is paramount, because if you don't have healthcare, you can't do anything. Okay. Right. What we want to do, we want to be able to bridge or get some valuable insight in regards to how do we build a bridge with the physicians and the church? How can we work together as a unit to ensure that these people get the services they need?
You know what? I think it's rather easy. And conversations just like we're having, that's what makes things happen. Sure. You know, I determined you guys had a need, and I'm here on the spot to sit and talk with you about it. It is not difficult at all to get the doctors to engage with you. Now, there may be a difference between African-American doctors that have a special interest in taking care of ACRES Home and maybe other doctors. But your African-American doctors, and there are several, are here to take care of our seniors. So conversations just like this, spaces that we can both get into to talk to people about what some of their needs are great, great avenues. You know what? And it's really about filling the void in the senior. When you have a patient that I take care of, I think about all the things that they have, but I think about the things that they don't have. Who's helping them pay the bills? Who's bringing them to the doctors? You know, who's making sure they have adequate nutrition on a regular basis? Who makes sure they see their doctor just like they should? You know, I sit down very, very often and talk to my patients about their health. We go through blood work, we go through x-rays. They're very clear when they leave my office about what is necessary for them to do in follow-up. So I think conversations just like this really, really make the difference. And, you know, as far as the church probably knows a little bit more about their personal life. So if we could get information about what their needs are, that would be really helpful. Also, do they need a provider? You know, do you feel like they're safe at home? You know, is that an issue? Do we need to get APS involved? Is cost an issue? And it always is. But are there some resources that we can pull to kind of help them be able to pay for those copays, pay for the medications? And, you know, dementia being such an issue, they really need to have a buddy that they can come to the doctor with that can help them get all the details straight. And sometimes the church can be a good resource for that type of thing too.
I totally agree. One of the things I see all the time is people, it's just like lifting weights. You know, if you had someone there to kind of guide you through it, I call it an accountability partner. If you had somebody that guide you through the whole process, because sometimes you just need a little push and need a little help. And so that's what I tell people all the time. It's a matter of us collectively being aware and being concerned enough to care and to extend to people who are less fortunate. And so I can appreciate a lot of what you have shared with us today. And the last question for the day is, you referenced that you work with WellMed, Herman Hospital, and even even Latino doctors, physicians.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see the African American community, it's just my perspective. I see the African American community. We're always in the streets. We're leading out. We're always fighting for justice, social issues. And so one of the things I was thinking, how could we, because you work with, Latino physicians, are they open to partner with the Black church to address the broader health care concerns of the community, or are they just isolated? Because sometimes it can be viewed that way.
Yeah. I bet you could find a group that was interested to partner. In general, Latinos are very kind of closed in their network. And the closure doesn't come from any dislike or distrust. It really comes from the language. The language is a barrier. A lot of them don't speak English very well, and they're not very comfortable speaking the English that they do know. They feel like you're going to make fun of them, and they're just insecure about their English. So the language barrier is a constant problem, particularly with the seniors. And I take care of seniors mostly. I don't do little children. I don't do teens at all. I primarily take care of the Medicare population. And the older Latinos are kind of uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. It's a trust issue. They really don't know you.
It's a trust issue.
With you.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see a large area of growth in regards to bridging the gap between Hispanics and the Black population, but we also need corporate America's help, because we know that dollars are kind of tight nowadays, and so you have these corporations who are in alignment with some of the things that we want to see happen in the community. Is there any avenue about which we can partner with these institutions in an effort to be able to provide health care, or at least address the healthcare issues in our community?
Well, the company that I work for, United Healthcare, owns WellMed. So United Healthcare is a worldwide kind of insurance carrier, huge. Yes. And they do things on a constant basis. They help, maybe not, I don't know if I've seen them directly reach out to a church, but I've seen them reach out to different community organizations. And I don't think that they have a problem reaching out to churches. I think maybe it just has not been brought to them in that way. So we would just need to talk to them. And I think that would be a great idea. Great idea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. The thing about it is, everybody is working in, or what I've observed. A lot of us are working in silos. We think we can do it all on. Well, there's always potency whenever you get people together, and so that's the reason why I extended that question. And so that's pretty much what we have. All we have today. I definitely thank you, Dr. Carruthers, for allowing you to share with us in regards to reaching the community. We know you have a heart and a love for seniors. For those who are listening to this podcast, especially if you are a senior, this is a wonderful doctor. Or not. If you are a physician and you are a senior citizen, because that's what she specializes in, of course, she will treat anybody, of course, but if you love on, well, I think Dr. Carruthers is a great choice for you. And I'm pretty sure her information may be on the screen or will be available to you, so you can give her a call, because obviously she do have a heart for the community. Thank you, Dr. Carruthers, for sharing with us. That was an awesome conversation. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with Bishop.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Acres Homes and surrounding communities, get ready. The Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest is coming your way, bringing wellness on wheels to our neighborhood. Join us at the Community of Faith on Saturday, February 8th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. for an incredible day of health, fun, and connection. Here's why this event matters. Black, brown, and lower income communities often face challenges like limited access to quality health care, longer illnesses, and higher medical costs. This is why community leaders and partners are uniting to bring free health and wellness solutions directly to you. Here's what you'll enjoy at the Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest. Free health screenings, including mammograms, free immunizations and pet vaccinations, fun fitness activities, kickball, skating, and cycling, dancing, Zumba, and meditation sessions, healthy food tastings, vendors, exhibits, and exciting prizes. And guess what? It's free. The Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest is proudly hosted by the Community of Faith Ministry of Health, Bishop James Dixon, Harris County Public Health, and Precinct 1 Commissioner Rodney Ellis, with partners like Be Well Acres Homes, Good Gang USA, and Compassion in Action. Don't miss this amazing opportunity to focus on health, food, fitness, and fun for the entire family, even your pets. Volunteers, we need you. Sign up online to join the team. Mark your calendars for the Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest. It's going to be an unforgettable day in our community. Join us at the Community of Faith, 1024 Pine Mine, with indoor and outdoor events.
We're back with our final segment with Bishop Dixon and Dr. Jacqueline Carruthers. Bishop Dixon, could you tell us the importance of the community health fair this weekend?
Let me just say, first of all, Carlos, thank you for having me on the podcast. I appreciate so much your leadership of our Minister of Health. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. It's very important to have healthcare professionals in the church who are willing to use their professionalism and expertise and experience and relationships to bring this kind of resource to bear on behalf of our community. So many professionals, particularly in healthcare, may not understand how valuable they could be to local congregations and to communities. I think that's one of the things that makes this important, because it puts on display a ministry model that is necessary if we're going to be impactful to our communities. And for you having Dr. Carruthers with us, I don't want to allow that to be understated. To have a Dr. Carruthers, a physician who's renowned, credentialed, successful, who knows what it means to be health conscious and to be able to do what she does professionally, and bringing that to bear at a community health fair, health festival is huge. So for the Community of Faith Church, it's significant and important because we become the hub or the catalyst in our community for community service. And healthcare is a ministry, right?
Yes.
And so for all those reasons, I think it's important to demonstrate to families throughout the community that the church exists not just to have a worship service on a Sunday, but we translate our love message on Sunday into a love action on Saturday at a community health fair event. And that begins to help people know our relevance, our resourcefulness, and it makes us relatable.
Sure.
So I'm really excited for those reasons.
Sure. Absolutely. Great answers. Great answers. I definitely appreciate that feedback and that insight. Bishop, in regards to, I asked Dr. Carruthers some of these same questions earlier. I'll have another set of questions for you, but in regards to faith-based institutions, local partnerships, community organizations, how can we bridge the gap? How can we bridge the gap in care for individuals in the community who are unfortunate?
Well, let me say, first of all, access to healthcare should not still be a problem in America for anyone. And in fact, throughout the world, this nation is too rich for us to still be suffering with a lack of healthcare. When you think about the fact that over 8 million children just in our state alone are without access to healthcare, that's a humongous problem. And healthcare is a human right. And I think it begins there. We've got to begin to accept as a society that the healthier everyone in our society is, the healthier we are as a whole.
Sure.
The lack of healthcare has financial implications for all the citizens of our state and our nation. And so it's very important for the church to be an advocate for that truth and for that to be the reality. But the other piece is this, and that's, of course, how do we bridge that gap? It's people who will be advocates, not just in the local neighborhood, but at the state Capitol, talking to the government officials. How can we bridge the gap, the information gap, the education gap? Educating people means you got to speak their language. You have to know how they listen, how they hear, because you have to meet people where they are, not where they're not.
Yes.
And I think that that's huge. We bridge the gap, the education gap, the information gap, by translating information about healthcare into the cultural vernacular of the people we're seeking to reach. And that's not easy. It's complex, but it certainly requires effort and intentionality. Churches are normally community-based. Mm-hmm. And so the people that we will have here at the event on Saturday, some will come without health care. They don't know the language, but us hugging them, loving them, giving their children something fun to do, and making this information palatable for them. And so they will grasp it, they'll get it, and someone that they will leave knowing how to access a doctor.
Yes.
And so the information gap is huge. And then, of course, the gap in services themselves. How do I get to a point to where I have a doctor, and my doctor is not the emergency room doctor, right? Mm-hmm. So how do I learn that language? How do I navigate those processes? And so bridging the gap for access as well as treatment. I think all of that's necessary. It's a mammoth job, but if we do it one brick at a time, one element at a time, I think we can make that difference.
Quick question for you. Do you see this community health fair as an avenue by which we can provide, of course, access to care, but what about equitable health?
Equitable health is a high mountain to climb, but it must be climbed. And if the notion is that it's an impossibility in the minds of some people. Like, we are so accustomed to having disparities in healthcare, disparities in education, disparities in wealth, disparities in health. We're so accustomed to being a nation who's lived with disparities. Many people don't think it's possible for equity to take place.
That's correct.
And that's a horrible thing to accept. We've got to, first of all, be diligent about the fact of believing we can achieve healthcare equity. In fact, it should not only be a goal, it should be a moral obligation. Equitable healthcare should be a moral. No one should have inferior healthcare. I mean, and I understand you said, Bishop, let's live in the real world. And I'm saying, even if we never get it right, we should know that it's wrong. Okay. and I think that that's extremely, extremely important. God made all of us of equal value. But let me get to this. What we're doing begins to move the needle a little bit, right? Yes. We're not solving the whole city's problem. We can't solve the state's problem. But if we could solve this problem for one family, two families, five families, then we are moving the needle and it counts. So I cannot say thank you enough to all the partnering organizations, Harris County Public Health, Harris County Precinct 1, Be Well Acres Homes, all the entities, Dr. Carruthers, you, Dr. Carlos Heath, our Minister of Health, the churches. We cannot say thank you enough, because if we can incrementally move towards equitable healthcare, one person, one family, one house, one street, one neighborhood at a time, we're doing something, and something is always better than nothing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with our final question for this segment, will you close out by making an appeal to the other nationalities, races that can potentially benefit from this particular event?
I do the very best I can. I think it's important that love is spoken, right? Because love is a universal language.
Sure.
And I think it's important for us to begin with that. Listen, we love everybody because God made everybody. And it's very important. I say this in Spanish. My Spanish is limited, but I can say 2 or 3 things. And one thing is this: una familia, un futuro. That simply means one family, one future.
Yes.
And so we understand that we cannot have a a healthy future for any of us if there's not a healthy future for all of us, because we're one family, we're one future, una familia, una futuro. And I want to get that message out. I want to say to all of us, I serve on the board of the Texas Multicultural Advocacy Coalition. It's majority Asian. We're inviting them to invite their neighbors, their friends to be a part of this experience on February 8th. We need Hispanics, Latinos. We need Nigerians. I've got the Nigerian community is connected as well. I am their keynote speaker for the African Diaspora Conference that's happening in a few weeks. We're inviting them to come out there and be a part. Listen, whatever your nationality, we're inviting our Haitian friends. We want all of you to come out and be a part of this important health event. It's for the entire human family.
Yes.
Because we really are one family. And let me say this. Let's not be divided over things that were man constructed.
Right.
Man constructed the whole concept of race. According to God, race doesn't exist. We're one human family, right? And so please, you're welcome, and be a part of this multicultural, very diverse experience, because at the end of the day, we're a whole lot more alike than we are different. And when you get well, we get better. We want to see you at the event on February 8th. And Dr. Carothers, from your perspective, how important is it for churches and the medical community to work together, as Dr. Carlos Heath is talking about?
You know, you guys are on the front line. Very, very important. You know, it's funny that you would say healthcare is a ministry, because it absolutely is. I can remember when I was a medical student, and we'd go on rounds with some of the physicians that were already out in practice. And I remember one day asking this physician, white physician, as a matter of fact, how does God play a role in the way that you practice healthcare? You know what he told me?
What's
He
that?
doesn't at all.
What?
He doesn't at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And that was the reason. That is the reason that I'm in healthcare, to help people.
Yes.
My faith and my belief in God, my love for people, is what brought me, to healthcare. And I thought that was just the strangest thing for him to say, but it's a common answer.
Yeah.
It's a common answer.
Very interesting. And I'm thinking about, Carlos, as you asked me the question about the church, and I'm thinking, Carlos, you've been in this church for years, longer than you have been into healthcare yourself.
Sure.
How did church inspire you? And I think other healthcare professionals and those thinking about healthcare can sort of think about it as a ministry. And maybe there's a young person sitting here now listening, right? They don't know what they want to be in life yet, but if they hear you all talking about, you can do healthcare as a ministry. How has your faith, Carlos, impacted your decision to get into it?
Well, actually, I'm convicted that you said that, because that's a conversation that I had with God. I was very convicted at what he shared with me. And of course, everybody have a lot of different things going on in their life. And so with me, I was all about wealth, development, preservation, and transfer. I mean, that's just been my whole, focus coming out of school, especially when you got a bunch of debt from student loans. So I'm just straight focused on, as these young people say, getting money. Okay. So you can be so focused on that you forget about other things. Okay. So it got to the point where I guess God had enough. He said, okay, you out here doing your own thing. I've watched you long enough. I'm not going to build your kingdom. Because we entered into a conversation. This is a conversation me and God had. And I was wanting him to do something. Bishop, he didn't do it. So I was mad. And I probably shared this with Tanya and Avery, but I said, where is the power? We got all these issues. I got all these issues going on in my life. Where is the power? I mean, if I need the power I need it now,
Yeah.
So, the Lord is not going to directly respond to your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
He might give it a little time until you calm down so you can communicate. So long story short, God shared with me, he took me to the word. 1 Corinthians 12.
Yes.
Gifts, God gives gifts to build up the church.
Yes. To build the body.
For the body. Okay. So if you want to see power, focus on kingdom work, because the power is not available for you to build your kingdom.
That's exactly right.
The gifts and the talents I gave you was for you to build my kingdom.
That's right.
At the end of the day, until that becomes focused, well, then my priority is not to advance you like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to maintain you. I'm going to bless you. The promises are still real. But until you get your mind right,
Yes.
I'm not going to move. So God owns everything. Okay. And the pressure
Yes.
that either he applies or the devil applies, you are going to say, yes, Lord.
Yes.
That's kind of like how I arrived on this television screen with YouTube. I'm just looking to get the devil's foot off my neck, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm really after purpose. That's really what it's all about. It's about purpose. When you focus in on purpose, everything that you're after is going to line up. But if you're over on the other side of the world doing whatever you want to do, well, then God's not obligated to bless your game, as they say. You have to get in alignment. I think the Bible even said that the anointing flows from the head down. And so, as soon as you get yourself in position to receive the assignment that God has, well, then he will be about the business of listening and answering your prayer request. But God is not $1 million for you to go and do your own thing or whatever the case may be. It just doesn't work that way in the kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how I arrived here. It was more of a not a twist your arm kind of situation, but it was more of a purpose oriented situation.
Well, everything that we do as members and citizens of the kingdom of God should start with that first.
Sure.
And so the church's assignment as it relates to healthcare. All right, we pray every day, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. It be done in train you so God and so and even who get God, we can. I'm here who have the gift of healing, and when they hug somebody, it's going to undertreatment
Yes.
spiritual power. And Dr. Carruthers, as you mentioned, the person that you met is power. Make
invitation has been extended. The insight has been provided. We thank you all for tuning in to this podcast. That was an incredible conversation today on Care for the Community podcast, the podcast where compassion meets action. A huge thank you to our special guest, Bishop James Dixon, and for his compassion, wisdom, and dedication to making healthcare accessible to everyone, and none other than the great Dr. Jacqueline Carruthers joining us today. Put some respect on her name. Thank you, both of you. And we wish you all well. Be blessed.
Acres Homes and surrounding communities, get ready. The Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest is coming your way, bringing wellness on wheels to our neighborhood. Join us at the Community of Faith on Saturday, February 8th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. for an incredible day of health, fun, and connection. Here's why this event matters. Black, brown, and lower income communities often face challenges like limited access to quality health care, longer illnesses, and higher medical costs. This is why community leaders and partners are uniting to bring free health and wellness solutions directly to you. Here's what you'll enjoy at the Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest. Free health screenings, including mammograms, free immunizations, and pet vaccinations. Fun fitness activities, kickball, skating, and cycling, dancing, Zumba, and meditation sessions, healthy food tastings, vendors, exhibits, and exciting prizes. And guess what? It's free. The Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest is proudly hosted by the Community Faith Ministry of Health, Bishop James Dixon, Harris County Public Health, and Precinct 1 Commissioner Rodney Ellis, with partners like Be Well Acres Homes, Good Gang USA, and Compassion in Action. Don't miss this amazing opportunity to focus on health, food, fitness, and fun for the entire family, even your pets. Volunteers, we need you. Sign up online to join the team. Mark your calendars for the Health, Food, and Fitness Fun Fest. It's going to be an unforgettable day in our community. Join us at the Community of Faith, 1024 Pine Mine, with indoor and outdoor events.